I understand that Sam Jackson is the reason we have a purple lightsaber.
Sure, because he said, I want a purple lightsaber. Yeah, sure.
Like, do you think if we didn't have that, like, do you think Lucas would have kept with green, blue?
I think that was probably the catalyst. Because from what I understood, in the behind-the-scenes kind of things, I mean, maybe things would have changed for some other reason in the future. But from what I understand, he was looking at, like, no, you have these colors. And I think even back in the original trilogy, he was looking at just, blue and red. And just using those. I mean, but because Luke points at the blue sky, they're like, hey, we can't see this saber very well. I was like, well, let's make it a green saber. So I think that, he comes across a reason why he had to do it. Maybe there's some other reason we do it in the future if Sam Jackson didn't want a purple lightsaber. But, I mean, we had, when did they start having, like, yellow sabers?
Expanded universe. I mean, I truly believe if Lucas did his sequel series, we would never have had a yellow/orange saber with Rey. I just don't think that was in his lexicon. I just don't think he liked it. I just think he liked these two. Like, good guys are this, bad guys are this.
Yeah.
He was usually pretty consistent with that, especially like with laser colors and the Empire versus the Rebellion. Like he would,
Empire were green laser bolts usually for ships, and then red for the good guys.
I honestly think Lucas is kind of a master at this. Like he understands that. These are the things you keep simple so that everybody, including kids, can understand. And then these are the things you challenge them with. Yeah. And usually the things you challenge them with are relationships and love and hate and that type of thing. Whereas the visual language, you want to keep very consistent,
Sure. You don't want to, all right, well, he has a yellow saber, so he must be a Sentinel Jedi, which means that he must be doing this. And then here's the Guardians because they have these colors. And here's...
Well, now Mace never... was originally created to have the purple lightsaber. I actually brought a couple of my favorite Mace Windu figures to show off. This one is it's a Black Series figure, but it's done in the Episode 1 card or whatever, and it has like a holographic thing. But this is the more conventional Mace Windu that you see with the purple lightsaber, right? And I think most people will be like, yep, that one makes sense. But the very first Mace Windu figure... this was 1999. I still have mine. If you were collecting Power of the Force, you were able to send away and get this sent to you. This is the first Mace Windu figure. And what do you notice about Mace Windu in this one?
He's little.
He's little.
No.
This is 3 3/4.
He has a blue lightsaber.
He has a blue saber. Yeah, this is this is one of my favorite things in my collection. But this is. Yeah, it has in the back, Star Wars Episode 1, coming to a theater in your galaxy, summer 1999, right on the back. But, if you were collecting figures and opening them and not worrying about your boxes, you could get, I don't know if it was barcodes or you could get something off there, collect them all, a certain number, and then send them in, and they would send you this. So that was the only way you could get these.
Okay.
So I just love that when I got it, I'm like, wow, it's so cool. And he has a blue lightsaber. I tell all my friends, Mace is a blue lightsaber. It's not green. It's blue. And they're like, what? No way. How do you know? And I'm like, look. Because this wasn't in the stores.
Gotcha. Okay.
You couldn't find it. And then when Episode 2 came out, everyone's like, Eric lied to us. It's purple. I'm like, I didn't know.
I guess it's true, right? Because, he never ignites his saber.
Not once.
For Episode 1 for anything.
In Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles, I believe he uses a blue lightsaber in that official game.
Really?
But then also, a character uses a red lightsaber too, and a Jedi character.
Huh.
And I think that was still because the rules, lightsaber rules have changed many times throughout Star Wars tenure, in our lives. But at one point, no one really understood that Sith were red. It was just Darth Vader's was red.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense that there were Jedi out there that had blue and red and green and whatever. They didn't really make it just it was a bad guy thing. So I can't remember which character uses a red lightsaber in that game, but it was a pretty good one.
Power Battles, that you said it was?
Jedi Power Battles, which I believe is either being remade or remastered or something. Very recently came out. We're talking about playing it.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played that one.
I played it when my brother was in college at OU over in Athens. One of his roommates had it, and I remember playing it. That's the one time I ever played it.
Never played that. Never played Terra Kasi.
Masters of Terras Kasi?
Never played Terra Kasi either.
It's a good game, man.
Is it?
Watching a Gamorrean fight off Darth Vader is one of the best things you could ever do.
It makes me think of watching Injustice. You're watching Joker fight Superman, and you're like, how is he standing toe to toe to that?
They have reasons.
He shot him with heat vision, Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah. I also brought. This is another figure that I like. This is a Clone Wars Mace Windu figure, but this actually was made before the canon Clone Wars series.
Is this when they had? I don't remember when it came out. There was a Clone Wars video game that you played as Mace Windu in that.
Sure.
That I thought came out before the Clone Wars series did, because like you're fighting on like Geonosis and going through like the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was. I don't remember watching the Clone Wars. I remember playing that and then watching Clone Wars and it being like different.
I don't remember. I think this is kind of more based on the Republic comics. But it's kind of a realistic Sam Jackson Clone Wars design. Before we really had, the look that we have now, which he generally just kind of has the pauldrons, the clone armor that we see. But I just wanted to show this one to you, especially check out the back, because you can see characters like Asajj Ventress and Dirge before they made their way to other media.
There's Dirge, yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit more.
Kenobi has like a bandolier.
Yeah. It's a really unique action figure because it doesn't really appear in almost any media.
I like for Yoda to keep him the same height as everyone else. They put him on like a little like pedestal thing.
Yeah, they did.
Like a little chair with legs.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Ventress, huh? That's kind of cool.
But yeah, I do wonder, someone said it, Dr. Teak, like I wonder if they'll change that in the upcoming Jedi Power Battles re-release. So I imagine they will. Because I'm pretty sure they added Jar Jar as a playable character to that, just for fun. So you can play as like Mace Windu.
Does he
Obi-Wan,
have a red lightsaber?
Qui-Gon, and I think was it Adi Gallia that you could play? And she had the red lightsaber? It was either that or Depa. I can't remember.
They should give Jar Jar a red lightsaber.
They should.
For Darth Jar Jar.
They very much should. Or just a tongue.
A tongue?
I would go.
He's just fighting with his tongue?
I would have him do
he
the
can
same
steal your
animations.
lightsaber?
Whoopsie. Yeah, I would say that.
All right.
Okay, so they have an option to switch if you want it to be blue or red. Is that the idea? That could be cool. I think is what Nexus is saying. I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share a couple, especially this episode one, because I remember me and my brother bonding over. He got one as well. Mine's in a much better condition.
You both got one?
Yeah, because he collected figures and I did too. And in fact, he let me have some of his barcodes because I opened some figures, but not all. Certainly.
Okay.
But as soon as he got his, he opened his, and threw this away, and I keep it. And I'm actually quite proud.
What a fool!
I'm very proud by the condition it's still in because I see these.
Mock your brother more.
I see these all the time, marked up at conventions and stuff.
Really?
And they're like,
well, so it's kind of like the Boba Fett that you could only get by sending away for, right? Like that first Boba Fett that could shoot a.
It is not as rare as that. But it's kind of like that.
Sure.
Yes.
I feel like
just the 90s version.
There's so many more years in between
There's
that time frame. But
no, that one hit legendary status. This one is more of like kind of like cool.
That's cool. Now a lot of people have this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does your brother still have his figure though?
I'm sure. Yeah. No, I'm sure he does. But it's not his lightsaber either, like the actual hilt.
Okay.
Because this wasn't designed yet. It was
sure. Yeah.
It's more of like this. I think they had like 5 or 6 just like standard. This is a Jedi's lightsaber that he had.
This is what Nexus was saying he sent.
Oh,
I feel like Mace Windu's head is real big compared to his body.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just the angle that this is in.
You're right. It is the angle. It wasn't necessarily a top down. It's kind of like 3/4 down, I guess.
Okay. So you're closer to the top of them than you are the bottom of them.
You are much closer to the top of them than you are. Yeah.
Okay. And then this is on. He sent it to us in Teams, but there's a title page that has Mace Windu there with his blue lightsaber too.
Oh, and Plo Koon had an orange lightsaber. That's right. I remember that.
And then Adi Gallia's there with the red one.
And then she had the red. And I remember thinking even then, like, why does she have red? Bad guys have red. And I remember being like, either my brother or his friend being like, who told you that? Anyone could have red. It's just a color. I'm like, you'll see. Darth Maul has red. Vader has red. I've established a pattern.
The bad guys have red.
Bad guys are red.
And then I didn't realize I think it's Obi-Wan, but I was like, why is Sam Witwer there with a blue lightsaber?
That's Obi-Wan.
So, all right.
Mace, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Plo Koon, Adi Gallia were the playable characters in that. I remember it was always, because you could play multiplayer in that. But I always played single. Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe when it comes out, we can check it out at some point because I've never played it.
I didn't want to fish it out because it's currently buried, but I also have Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter. Which,
the like triangle red, like, or what does it look like?
It's more of an Actus class, like Episode 3.
Okay.
Anakin's, and all it is just a repaint. They kind of did that where they're like, all right, this is here's Obi-Wan's and here's Anakin's, and it's like, well, that's the ones we've seen.
Okay.
And it's like, here's Aayla Secura's, and it's blue. And I'm like, okay, I get it, And then here's Mace's, and it's purple. I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing. I will still buy it. One, please.
give me one.
But I do like that I have Mace Windu's Jedi Starfighter that doesn't really exist.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember if it showed up in Clone Wars ever. I know Yoda eventually got like a small one.
Yeah,
right.
And I liked his because it was like smaller. It was just like the ones that the other Jedi flew, but smaller for a Yoda. And sure. I loved it. I thought it was great.